In the name of Allah, the most merciful and beneficent, and knows the deep secrets of hearts. Eyes can't reach him, but he reaches the eyes. He is the one who rules the entire universe. When he says be, it becomes. He is independent of time and space. Assalamu alaikum, my dear viewers, my friends. As yesterday I uploaded one of my videos regarding literature. I hope you enjoyed it, and inshallah I will be uploading so many videos. I will share with you the beautiful way, the important way, the best way. We'll work together. As on the request of my friends, they asked me to share with them. You know what? In literature, in English literature, there are some certain things which you need to know, which you need to learn, which you need to understand. Believe me, everything depends on your understanding. If you have understanding, if you read it with the understanding, if you have a coherence, if you have mutual understanding, if you understand that the history, the literature, the personality, the epic poem, the narratives, the sonnets, the elegies, eulogies, or whatever you're reading, read it thoroughly and try to understand. It doesn't matter that you read one book in a short span of time and you understand only equal to 5%. No, read only to understand it. No matter how short you study, it doesn't matter. It's not the criteria that how much you study, but what you need to study is that with your understanding. For example, yesterday we discussed about the age, the Renaissance age, the age of which is known in the history. For example, I tell you in the beginning again, Renaissance age is such an age. It's an age of culture, art, and art movement. It is related with the arts, religion, and politics. This age is known. This age is known. Let me tell you. This age is known in the history of English with a few names: Renaissance, Enlightenment, Age of Elizabethan, and Shakespeare. So these are the titles given in the Renaissance age. You should not only believe that Renaissance. What is that? Renaissance means the rebirth or revival or reawakening of ancient Greek learning. That is another thing. That comes from French or whatever. But now, I give you one thing. For example, if you keep on reading only that only one meaning, that will be giving you a little. You will be in topsy-turvy. You will be in higgledy-piggledy, or you will be on the hands of dilemma. That what should you do? So, what I mean to say, what I want to guide you. For example, study in understanding with understanding. Let me tell you at the very outset what happens and how the literature begins. But there are few ages which are given the more priority, which are given more importance, and students mostly, prefer to study. And frequently questions asked in some competitive exams, especially literature, in English literature. Few ages are which are note that the Old English, which is the time of Beowulf. I would tell you who's Beowulf. Beowulf, which is Olden English, Anglo-Saxon period, the Anglo-Saxons age, the Alfred King age. Secondly, the Middle English, the age of Chaucer, Geoffrey Chaucer, and modern age, which is known for Shakespeare, but the age of Renaissance. Modern age comes to the, I already told you yesterday, the lake poets like Robert Southey, like William Wordsworth, like Alfred Tennyson. So they were the lake poets. John Keats was not the lake poets, or Percy Shelley was not like poets. They were other great poets of their times, of the Romantic age, Carlyle, these things, whatever. And age of Dryden, Restoration Age, which is known Restoration Age, Age of Dryden, New Classical Age. Afterwards, another age comes that's Augustan Age. I would tell you who was Augustine, who was Monk Augustine. Augustine was in 450 and 597. There the monk was sent to the British rulers and to convert the King Albert to the Christianity. That's Augustine. This is Augustan Age. In Augustan Age, few most popular poets such as Pope Alexander, Jonathan Swift, Ruskin, and other great poets. Later on, that age starts from 617 to 1750 or 45. That's it. But Alexander Pope died in the age of 1744. He was born in 1688 and died in 1744. Whatever. Now let's talk about again. I'm trying to give you. I was just giving you superficially. Each and everything we will discuss. Each and everything. For example, who was Catman? Who was Steinwolf? Who was Beowulf? Or what is a Beowulf? In English literature, this is a key source of English learning, modern English learning. Beowulf plays a very significant role in English learning because Beowulf was written in Old English, and modern English. The father of modern English is you know very well, the Bard of Avon, who was born in Warwickshire in England, and Avon, the Bard of Avon, is known as Shakespeare, the great man of his time, the 16th century, the man who has changed the history of English literature, Shakespeare. If you talk about Shakespeare, you will be shocked to know that the Juliet, Julius Caesar, Hamlet, King Lear, Macbeth, Othello, Winter's Tale, Midsummer's Night, As You Like It, many plays, histories, King History 1, History King 2, Henry 2, Henry 3, Henry 4, and Edinus and Rape of the Lucrece, and Rape of the Lock. The Rape of the Lock is a masterpiece written by Alexander Pope. I will tell you later on. Who was Homer? Translated by Alexander Pope, Homer's. There were two poets in the history of English literature. I will tell you in the beginning. Homer's is in the Old English, in the BCs. What in the BCs, I give you two things. For example, if you talk about the BCs, Aeschylus is known as Old Greek tragedy. Old Greek tragedy, Aeschylus, and English tragedy, Gorboduc. Now look at the distance. In BCs, Gorboduc is written in 1532 to 1532 to 1384. There are two persons, Norton and Sackville. Sackville is known as the father of English tragedy. Who was Norton? Norton was a king. He had a wife. His wife was queen, and he had two children. Later on, the name of the Gorboduc was changed into Faris and Paris. Paris and Faris, they were both brothers. One brother killed another brother. In this way, that mother killed the son because of the retaliation, because he got angry because why brother killed brother. That was another time. Now let's talk about Beowulf. Who was Beowulf? Beowulf was a poem, but with the Beowulf lies a history. Beowulf was a man in the King Arthur's period, and King Arthur was a man in Scotland who made a palace and would study and live with the friends, and they were a great palace to live. But there comes a monster. Monster appears. Monster appears from the sea with his mother, and there are three monsters, and his name was Grendel. Grendel is the name of a monster who appears and kills many of the people. And that palace lived lonely for the round about 12 months for a year. It remained, lonely, and the people were scared. That was a terrible condition for the people of that time. When the Beowulf was a warrior, fighter, wrestler, including his 30 men who heard about the Grendel, and they came and fought against him. They beat him, they killed him. But one thing I want to tell you, Beowulf is written, but it is anonymous. Nobody knows who wrote the Beowulf. But that was very tough. With it, there comes another poem, that's a Widsith. Widsith is also the other poem. But it had another title, The Wanderer. Devour is the other poem. With it also there is another poem, that is Exodus. These are the poems written, and people know sanctity about that. As I told you, Steinwolf influenced by the Catman. And Catman was he believed that he said while writing something, he said that the angel appeared in his dream and asked him to write in the phrase of God, and he wrote something. That was amazing. The Catman. In this way, the Anglo-Saxon period came as, you know what Anglo-Saxon? Anglo-Saxon. Anglo and Saxon. Anglo means angle. Saxon means sword. This word has been introduced 3 times, step by step, gradually, then it came another word. For example, Anglo-Saxon. Later on it became Angle-Land, then Angle-Land, then Angle-Land. Then the third time it became England. This is the short history of Anglo-Saxon. As I told you, the Battle of Hastings, maybe I have told you, Battle of Hastings, which was fought between 2 people, the Harold and William, in 1066. The downfall of Anglo-Saxons comes to an end in the Battle of Hastings, when the king of Anglo-Saxon died and William succeeded. The French Revolution, the French invasion, the people came, as in the past, in the 410 and 450 to 597, 3 periods, 3 people, 3 tribes were living: Celtic, Germans, and British. They practiced, they exercised the intermarriage system, and afterwards because they were found in the unrest and civil war had erupted between them. The civil war broke out. The people were not happy with that. So this is a history. It's a long history. Let's come to the Renaissance age again. As you know about Geoffrey Chaucer, who wrote the Canterbury Tales. He is a masterpiece. He brought the great characters, and he had 4 children, and he was, as a diplomat, he is known as a diplomat. Apart from this, father of English literature, father of English poetry, he is also a diplomat. He is a civil servant. He has contributed a great thing. He was impressed by 3 persons: Boccaccio, Petrarch, and Dante. Few of the characters are taken from him, and his contemporaries cannot be ignored: Gower, Sir Gower, and Langland, the Piers Plowman of Langland. The Langland written a great thing, and the Green Knights written by the Gower. They were his contemporaries of Geoffrey Chaucer's in Middle English. Now Renaissance age, again you talk about Renaissance age. If you talk about Renaissance age, there are great people in their times. I told you the Marley. Ben Jonson was also his contemporary. Ben Jonson was a contemporary of William Shakespeare. What he said, epitaph is there. They cut that branch that might go straight. It is epitaph on the grave of Christopher Marley. He was stabbed and he was killed in early age, 29 years of his age. But he brought a great change. He is father of English tragedies. Jew of Malta is written by Christopher Marley. Timberland is written by Christopher Marley. The Dr. Faustus, which is a masterpiece, written by him. And Thomas Nash worked with him. Also, he wrote Massacre at Paris. He wrote Massacre at Paris. What do you mean Massacre at Paris? It's a history. If you go back in the history, if you peep into the history of Geoffrey Chaucer's 1337, 4 events have taken place. 4 events. You know what? In 1337, the war erupted between England and France. They lasted for more than 100 years. It started in 1337 and lasted 1453. Now imagine how long they fought. And 13 and 9 and more, and the disaster which appeared in 1448 for England, the Black Death, the Black Raids, the plague which appeared, the Black Raids. You know what? My dear viewers, you will be shocked to see that the 60% of the population of England died in the Black Raids. It took them ages to recover. In 1381, there comes a man who translated the Bible. His name is John Wycliffe, and with him the people were his friends. He was expelled from the Oxford University. Why? He spoke against the Roman Catholics. He translated the Bibles into English. There comes a Laurel movements which took place in 1381. And second year, in 1382, there comes the Peasants' Revolt. Because that the war had erupted between England and France, the government was going down. They were not in a position to revive their economy, and they levied taxes on the people of that time. They revolted against that. This is the history. You read this history. Okay, let's again come to the Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson died in a very poor life because he thought that he's doing great. He thought that he was right, but he was not. He fought and killed a man. He ran away and came back again, died, whatever. But for him, 4 people. Edmund Spencer, I told you yesterday. Edmund Spencer, for whom the Queen Elizabeth announced 50 pounds his pension, his retirement. £1, 50 pounds to you, it requires, I think it's not a big amount, but I tell you one thing. And that is, in 15th century, in 16th century, 1 pound was sufficient for living of, 1 pound was sufficient for 6 months living. 1 pound was sufficient for 6 months living. Now imagine 50 pounds a year. He could live a luxurious life. It was retirement. So Edmund Spenser is known as first the child of Renaissance. Geoffrey Chaucer is given title the morning star of Renaissance. The Christopher Marlowe is the in university wits, he's a son. Around him revolve John Lilly, George Peele, Thomas Nash, Thomas Cade, George, and so many university wits. They are working together with him. In this way, Shakespeare is given the title the Bard of Avon, father of modern English. His plays are awesome. His writings are awesome. If you study his King Lear, what happens in King Lear? Who was the King Lear? Who was Grundlear? Who was Regan? Who was Cordelia? And what happened? Who was Ned? Who was Gonzalo? If you study the Tempest, it's amazing. Tempest, if you read this study, you know, today we read about the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is the most disastrous place in the world. But if you study the Tempest, written by Shakespeare, it's a comedy. If you read about in Tempest, the Bermuda Triangle has been introduced. That his ship landed over there. Who was Errol? Who was Caliban? Who was his mother? Who was Amanda? Who was Ferdinand? Who was Sebastian? Who was Saint Antonio? And what happened to Duke? Who was Prospero? The head of the Duke of the England, Scotland, whatever. So this is a drama. If you read about Othello, Desdemona, Othello, Iago, whose mother, and how Romeo Juliet appears, who died, who killed, who fought, who ran away, who was killed. If you read about the Hamlet, the play within play, written by Shakespeare, who was Ophelia, who was Polonius, who was Hamlet, old Hamlet, who was Fredland. So there are Ferdinand Barrs. So these are great plays. If you study, this history is amazing. You would like it. You would love it. Again, so I was talking about what? I was talking about the Renaissance age. And after Renaissance age, there comes the Puritan age. You know, Puritan age is known with the great things, with many names. As the Renaissance age. Puritan age has many names. For example, Puritan age is known from 1603, after the death of Elizabeth I. Elizabeth's age starts from 1558 to 1603, and now it ends here. Now, 1603, James I. James I, it is. I'll give you 3 or 4 names. This period is known Jacobin period, Caroline period, Cavalier poets period, metaphysical poets, Milton age, Puritan age. In this age, good writers are there. Francis Bacon, John Donne, John Milton. They are Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson is also unofficially announced that he is a poet laureate. Like Edmund Spenser is a poet laureate. Like Dryden is the first poet laureate who was appointed by the king in 1670. He is the first officially announced. After him, for example, Robert Southey. After him succeeds William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, a great man. I think his masterpiece is the Prelude. You know, rest of his life he worked on the Prelude. Prelude is a masterpiece. He was influenced by the French Revolution. His contemporaries were Robert Southey, S.T. Coleridge, Samuel Taylor Coleridge was a great writer. Opium Eater. His lyrical ballads, Ancient Mariner, written by him, ballads, and amazing. If you study this history, everything, take one personality and study about him, read about him. Don't study other things. Just try to know about one person. Who was T. Coleridge? Where was he born? Where he died? What he did? What are his works? Who was William Wordsworth? Who was Mary Hutchinson? Who was Dorothy? Who was sister? Who was Caroline? Where he went? France, why he went? Why he left France? Why he came back to England? What was his marriage system? Why he got married with Mary Hutchinson? Why he left his daughter to Caroline? What was the reason? So this is a history. If you read about history, I am sure you would love it. Read the question. If you read history, in a second, I give you in a second, you will remember the MCQs. If you read history, but you don't, if you don't, and you spend a short span of time, you are running out of time. So what you need to do, Give 2 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours. Sit, make your sittings. Be active. You have to go for smart study. Now you need to go for smart study. I think it's a long story I have to tell you, but inshallah, and tomorrow I will be giving you another video, and inshallah, day by day, every day we will be sharing. I hope your feedback will be appreciation for me. I would like to thank my friends, my viewers who yesterday appreciated me, and their appreciation is liked, and I thank them from the core of my heart. That their support is enough for my justification. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow, inshallah, God willing. Till then, take care. Bye bye.